Oh my god, are we live? I think we're live, guys. God, it's working. It's finally working.
I'm surprised. I'm waiting to do this shit again.
OMG.
Don't jinx it. You know the rules. Don't jinx it. You're not allowed to say it.
I will not jinx it, people. It is time for the
I will not.
Chat. I will not jinx it. No, Mock. No. Oh, man. I am really surprised that we're actually on live with no issues. But I'm not going to jinx it. Knock on wood.
You literally just said it twice.
I know. Well, that's why I'm knocking multiple times on this wood. Wait, that sounds weird.
That's the first and the last time you ever knock on wood.
I would knock the fuck out this wood, son, and it's enjoyable. But here's the thing, though. We're on the Midweek Chat Attack. Everything seems to be okay. I hope everyone comes into the the YouTube chat. We never said web chat ever. How did I accidentally almost say some shit we never say?
It's the power of bullshit magic, my friend.
Now, because of the fact that we're celebrating that we're even on right now, no attacking the chat. Like, you guys can talk in the YouTube chat, but I'm not going to show DT. And, you know, I've been saying I'm going to try Amino, but let's try to do this shit right first before we start saying we're going to do this and do that and the other. I want to just stick on one thing for once. And by the way, Allie, how you doing?
Yo, I'm doing fine. How you doing?
God, I'm doing okay. And then, Ganja, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. And then you ain't gonna do nothing crazy.
How you doing?
How you doing? That's Alan's voice.
How you doing?
I'm here also.
Yeah, I'm here also.
I'm here also.
Hi, Penelope, the real star of the show, y'all.
Exactly.
First time she's been on the show in like a week.
Honestly, fuck that bird. Everyone voted for that bird being the best host when I never seen that fucking thing run exploit, not even fucking once. Okay, fuck that bird. God
Hey,
damn.
she runs it in the background when we're. Hey, you missed it. I did a test stream one time and it was the Birdman and Penelope show. I needed her to be something to look for the audience to look at.
Yeah, that was before or after you
just
did.
bird just standing there and just pooping.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty funny in itself too. But was that before or after he did drugs? Because that sounds like a weird fucking thing to just do randomly. Like,
no, Ganja wasn't around, so I had to improvise.
So, are you making me like the same intelligence of a parakeet?
A parakeet?
Cockatiel, but
Parakeet?
Parakeet?
Yeah, he's a parakeet. What the fuck is a parakeet?
It's a special type of bird, the one Alan has right there.
All right then.
No, it's a cockatiel. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Oh!
No, a cockatiel.
Very rough.
Good God, this is rough. This is a rough beginning. Holy shit. But here's the thing, folks. We're going to try to get through this with the quickness. And when I say quickness, I mean because on the doubletoasted.com, and I guess, oh, I just fucked something up. That's great. And then I fixed it. Oh, this is even better. So on doubletoasted.com, you guys should go check them out because tonight we're doing a movie review extravaganza about Tomb Raider. Everyone gives a fuck about movies, or video game movies. And yeah, let me just move this out of the way. And by the way, too, if you guys do say something in DT chat, I'll be here. I'll look it up this way, but nothing too special. But over here, yes, I'm gonna click on it really quick to see if everything's okay. You guys see it live on screen, and in 44 minutes. So hopefully we can get this down underneath 44 minutes. And if we don't, check us out in the archive or check them out, whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give a shit what it is. God damn it, Ganja, I don't care. You son of a bitch.
I know you don't.
God damn.
Tomb Raider.
That's why you barely near broke down the last 2 episodes that went fucking K-Wire.
Okay.
Because you don't care so much.
So, yeah, so I said
end of an era! It's the end of an era,
you
guys!
motherfuckers with that shit. No, it could have been an end of an era. It could have been the end of our live show era, okay? God damn it. So fuck your face. And fuck you too, Alan, because you're over the quiet now because now I was right, kind of.
Okay.
And, yeah.
You were basically 2 steps away from just doing the end of Independence Day with your speech. Like, come on, man.
Just because I'm epic doesn't mean I'm trying to be like Independence Day, and that was a great speech.
We will not go quality tonight. We will attack the chat. This will be
We are canceling
our
the apocalypse.
exploit day.
Fuck y'all, man. You guys are assholes.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
We are canceling the apocalypse.
But yeah, and I know that people are probably surprised that we're even on or whatever because I'm looking over here in the viewing thing, and if there's any issues, whatever, let me know. But yeah, like not a lot of people talking in the YouTube chat. Hopefully, you guys can come over there and you know talk some shit, whatever the fuck. Tell us what you think about the show, things like that too. I want to get your opinions on some of the topics we had because we got some topics that we're probably gonna end up getting really heated and get into a big fucking fight over. And I hope that's not the case. But you know, you guys are hyperbolic, and I'm very calm all the fucking time.
My ass.
So, but we're gonna move on though, and yeah, my boy Ganja Guru, I'm gonna have you do me a favor really quick, sir, because if I was a viewer, I would want to come on, but you know, it's like that'll never happen. But there's rules for me to follow if I did come on, right?
There are.
Yeah.
They've been solid
like
rules
you
for
have
the
to
last
ask
2 years.
Yeah, exactly. No, but go ahead though. You take it away, sir. You tell these people the rules, and you're gay.
Oh man, it feels so good to be back, y'all, and having you guys in the live call that could possibly join us in the conversation. If you hit it up on Facebook and shit like that. But before you do that, we have some of the rules to follow, motherfuckers. For example, rule
yes.
number 1. Newcomers, join the call first. We're all about those new, fresh smelling faces, those people we haven't seen in a while, those people who are showing up for the first time. So hit me, Allie, and Alan inside the Facebook page so we can get you guys onto the show. Rule number 2, do not talk over each other. Or do just some very bad dad sound effects. Because just with audio quality, it makes it harder to listen to later. Rule number 3, please no nudity. This one will get us kicked off YouTube, even though we have broken this law maybe once or twice in the after hours. But that is the after hours, folks. So on the main show, keep the dick and the tits in your pants. Rule number 4, do not give anyone else the link. We have a planned show that comes on for certain topics, conversations, and just some bullshittery. So you hand out the link, you're gone. So it's a dumbass that clicked that shit. Rule number 5, read the rules.
Don't be a dick.
God damn!
Yes!
I think I gotta clean up some glass on my floor.
Oh, I guess you could clean something else with that much dick.
She just killed all the audio viewers.
I'm sorry, I really liked my joke a lot.
If you have that shit turned up loud, guys, that shit killed you.
Yep. There goes.
Yeah, I killed someone's ears.
You did. Well, let's not say kill too many times here because I'm scared about some of their topics on the fucking show.
Yep.
Yeah, so here's the thing. This guy right here, my boy Alan, he's probably going to be really sad hearing this news. Well, he was sad when he already heard this news. Your boy died. Your boy's gone, Stephen Hawking.
I literally couldn't sleep last night because I was about to go to bed and I get the news, man. And it's just like, yo, man, you gotta pour one out, man.
Yeah, wait, what did you end up doing?
Oh,
Even up, he's like, what the fuck? Do you pour water on the floor? You motherfucker gotta clean that up.
I'll deal with that shit later. Pour one out.
Wow.
Speaking of cleaning up, you got a little bit of a white stain on you.
Nobody cares. Point is
Dang.
But yeah, like in case, I'm sure all y'all have heard the news, but yeah, Stephen Hawking passed away in the early mornings. You know, at some point yesterday, some point today, like he passed away, and it's kind of a major blow. Like he lived a very long time. Like I'm upset in the fact that we kind of lost a superstar of science. But when you think about his life, like he got diagnosed with something that should have killed him before he was 30. And he ended up living for another 50 plus years. So it's like he lived a good life. I'm sad because he won. Like he's when you look it up, the disease he has kills people in like 5-6 years and they die hard. But with him, it's like, yeah, he managed to pull like 50 plus years. And it's like, it's like I'm glad to have been alive to at least know his accomplishments. But it is a sad day in science. We lost a big one.
Yeah, no, it really does suck. And me, like, it sucks when anyone dies for me. That's the thing that kind of bothers me. But, like, I will admit that this guy I never really gave a shit about. And learning about certain things, and I was going to take more notes, and then I was like, I'm starting to notice the more notes I take, the more I'm not liking this dude a whole lot. I want to come on here and start talking shit, whatever the fuck. But I'm going to ask you, Ganja, what are some things that you knew about Stephen Hawking, or did you ever care about him before?
Well, the thing with Stephen Hawking is he's always been one of those guys that's been mentioned a lot throughout media. Back in the old days, like in the 90s and early 2000s, he was heavy featured on Futurama, The Simpsons, and a few other cartoons as well. So it was kind of a staple in my childhood. And I remember him doing some guest spots on a few kids' cartoons. And, I was one of those weird kids that was into History Channel and Discovery. So, I always saw him popping up one night. He was like the first Neil deGrasse Tyson or Mitch Kaku because I didn't have Carl Sagan or any of the other guys. So I grew up with him and, Bill Nye the Science Guy. And he kind of, like, after he lost his ability to talk to the computer, which is his only eye, he kind of disappeared from the limelight. And I think the last thing he did was a Simpsons cartoon where he tries to kill Homer or something. No, it's a cartoon where he tries to kill Fry because him not going to the future would cause a paradox. And and I think that was the last work he did, or he may probably have done some extra stuff with Family Guy. But besides that, I really think he just was someone that everyone knew from a lot of memes and just not social media, but like old media and just new media cartoons and just art about him. With him passing, I think it's like one of the first people to actually disappear with us in our generation as someone who's a great scientist. Because Bill Nye, me and Al always get an argument about this. I think he's good for attracting people to science and what it can do and what it can educate you. But in the end of the day, he's not really a scientist. He's an engineer. He just knows a lot about it and it can be educational. Whereas Stephen Hawking, he was actually someone that helped create up a lot of theories. He helped physicists create up a lot of ideas on how the stars work. I can't get into the specifics, but I'm pretty sure Alan can.
Yeah, and really quick, before you continue, you need to get the specifics of your fucking mic.
I don't wanna.
Yeah. So
I thought it was me. Ha ha ha.
No. Hey, it's all his fault. That son of a bitch. No, and one thing I'm gonna bring up really quick too, and I'll say this again once Alan comes back or whatever the case. But like one thing that was always kind of bothering me, some of the stuff that I remember hearing about, but more so even now after his death, when I went back and checked some stuff out, is this dude was hyperbolic as fuck. Some of the things he would say, like for instance, he went on to say something about how Donald Trump is going to be basically the big catalyst that ends the world, not just our country, but the world. And
we got 2 more years of this presidency. Stay tuned.
And then top of that too, like saying certain things about like how what we're doing this year, just this year, is going to make the whole global warming thing like irreversible, and how global warming is going to like completely like for sure fuck us up. It's talking about how we need to make like colonies in space, and that's the only way that humankind can survive. And these things sound so like he's just trying to scare us, or just he says something so ridiculous to get talked about. You know what I mean? I thought that was a little weird, but I mean, do you feel the same?
That's the thing. Like, it sounds like hyperbole because it's these big and like extravagant ideas and these big expansive thoughts that are like, okay, are you just trying to sell me stocks in like a fucking solar panel company? But like, he's one of those guys that we're really back up his stuff with like editorials where hard science and data that if you really want to check out his stuff, he had references that you can argue with him and dispute on. But like the whole idea of global warming getting to the point that it can end us. Even for the most, like, if you're not a hardcore like Republican or someone who's like one of those people that are just trying to deny science in a degree that like, oh, only 90% say, the rest 10% say no, and just hoping on that 10% being right. A lot of people are saying that we are getting to the point where global warming will start affecting the food chain, and you're starting to see examples of that. For example, in South Africa, I think they're like 2 months or 3 months from losing water, and they're gonna have to start importing it. Yeah, so they're gonna be going through a real drought up in that country due to global warming because the snow caps that they depended on over the last century almost have completely dissipated because they haven't been able to keep up with the heat dissipating the water and it rising, the clouds are falling again. So that global warming is real. I think some people do maybe do a little bit of a scare tactic, especially a lot of those hippie types to get you like to do stuff. But the problem with global warming, if they don't do that, they're gonna be like, oh well, within 30 years or 40 years, so and so is gonna happen, and like because it's so distant, you're able to be like, oh well, it's gonna happen, and then what the fuck I gotta care about it. So it's a little bit more of it's scare tactic, but to get you to try to move and do something or talk to your people or people your family to get them educated on the subject. And the whole space thing, yeah, that's a little bit of a long shot, but it's kind of what we have to do as a species in order to survive, because we are stuck on one planet, and as soon as we get further into the star systems, we have a better chance of something not wiping us out. That's just a math game.
Exactly.
To an extent, yeah. But I mean, it's like it feels very Civilization 6 to me. But you go ahead while you're.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh, it is. It's Lars like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. Like at the end of it, it's like he kind of does know a lot of what he's talking about. Because when you hear a lot of what he says, like, oh, global warming is going to cause irreversible stuff. Like he's not talking out of his ass. Like this man, if you were to take a poll of the top 10 smartest people on Earth, he is in that top 10. He is not just some random guy on YouTube. One thing I respect about him is he never let anything slow him down. He's always in the lab doing all sorts of crazy shit, doing discoveries that changed everything. He was one of the people that founded string theory, which is the other multiple dimensions. Like that, it started off with him just kind of thinking a lot of the equations in his head and him doing it. So when he says stuff, it comes with a bit of a gravitas because he's not just saying it just to get likes on YouTube. He means a lot of what he says. Like spacecraft is going to be, or not spacecraft, space colonization is going to be the way we save our planet. Because we are having an overpopulation crisis, we are having a lack of resources. And he basically says, like, yeah, we got to start focusing on the people that are trying to go to Mars. Those guys are doing the right thing. Global warming is going to affect us. We do need to focus on all sorts of these things. And actually, something Ganja just told me I didn't even realize this when we were discussing this. The eve of his death. He's basically saying, like, he believes in the same kind of ideals like communism does, in the sense of we use machines to make all sorts of cool stuff so that people can live better. I didn't know that is something he said. So it's like even through that, I was learning he has so many views about how the world should kind of work.
Well, not that you searched that photo of him walking in Vietnam, and somehow we found Skrillex' granddaddy.
Yeah,
but it's just it's so the utmost respect because he never let anything because anybody else in his shoes would have been, well, I have this disease, I guess I'll just die. In him, it's like he never let anything hold him back, and that's something kind of always respect with him and Neil deGrasse Tyson, where it's like they're not letting anything hold them back. They had a million excuses to give up, but they didn't.
But there is one thing we got to talk about. Neil's got to bring that shit back. Like, I literally got mad at his fucking farewell tweet because I was like, is that a pun or is he giving respect?
Both, because the statement is it's a respectful fun in the sense of that statement
If
is
you
a
do
reference.
that to me in my grave, I'll rise up and choke your ass.
But for people that don't really know what the thing is, if you look at New Guy Says, it's all over the internet. What that is, it's a reference to one of his discoveries that really got him famous, is him talking about Hawking radiation. So it's like you wouldn't really know that unless you're deep into science like I am. But it's basically a reference to one of his great discoveries. They're basically setting him off because they were friends. They did hang out a lot, and it's kind of like both of those really
Girl behind his wheelchair when they went to the cafe.
Yeah, like they used to talk all the time, and I love that shit because it's like, we don't really have that with science anymore. People don't have that ability, like both Neil and Steven, to get people interested in science.
Neil and Steven?
Sorry, I said Steven. Man, y'all just look.
I'm sorry, man.
We ain't looking for shit.
Yeah,
y'all
said Neil and
reasons.
Steven.
Hey!
Eddie's in the
Eddie.
house. Our boy. Yeah, speaking of semen, I don't know. That was bad. I just like.
There have been worse segues.
Oh yeah, there could have been worse.
Speaking of cream pies.
Yeah, exactly. Aw. I like how I almost said exactly. Like, what the fuck am I talking about?
Hate you.
I'm sorry, man. Yeah, people, if you guys don't understand, Alan referred to himself as a cream pie during the Rocket League playthrough. Go back for more context and watch that shit.
What happened?
That shit is a permanent staple, dude, of the MCA lore at this point. That we were talking in our Amino chat. Go check that out on the Play Store and App Store, by the way. Anyways, we were talking on the general chat, and one of the things we brought up, if we had like not a concert, but like in a music park dedicated to MCA and all the fucking inside jokes, and one of the exit was going to be the Rage Quit area, and it was going to have like a figurine of Penelope flying out, and just Birdman like stomping out like a cartoon character.
The broken piece of headset.
When we brought up Punland, that would be where you would be like your main character would hang out and shit, and it's just all fucked up puns and whatnot. We would have like the Gonza zone where it's just like jungle of just smoke and weed, and you have to be like 21 to enter and whatnot. And then we had the alley fancy cart section where we go eat like fancy foods and whatnot, but you always get like an eye of Nick above the ceiling. It just stares you down the whole time.
And then actually, too, on top of that, just a Terminator 2, it'll be a room where you open up the doors, you had to have a security guard to help you up, and then this thing comes out the wall, and it's her foot.
Oh, I'm glad you brought up security guards, because I mentioned that we should have the fun police. If someone's having too much of a good time, they find them or some shit, or they take something away from the park.
I hate you so much right now.
Oh my goodness, but no, we'll move on really quick too, because this is actually something I think Eddie can bring up a lot, or bring a lot into this.
I'm trying to get investors.
No, but yeah. Damn, you were trying hard for that. I actually take that seriously. Jesus Christ.
That sound like a pitch. I read too much into that chat.
Yeah, no shit.
Wrong show. This isn't the Shark. What the fuck?
Shark Tank. Yeah,
the
Profit or some shit.
Yeah,
no, all my favorite shows. No, but anyways.
Mark Cuban molested me.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said Mark Cuban molested me.
Oh, Mark Cuban's great, but he was like verbally molesting people in the America's Top Model thing, where the fuck that shit was. He's licking his lips like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking eat that.
What? Shit. What was this?
Yo, Allie, you should look this up. I'm gonna look it up on here really quick. You guys gotta see this shit.
All right, I'm glad you brought this up, Nick, because one of the newspapers that I subscribe to, it's left wing, so I'm still saying it, but the one of the people I subscribe to, they were talking about that he's got sexual harassment cases that are being brought up against him.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Oh.
At this point, have we figured out what this year?
Thought he was one of the good ones.
And here we
There's
go.
no such thing as a good rich personality, but that's my bias.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, they're not showing it. They're not showing him licking his goddamn
Who's
lips.
this fat fuck?
Hey, that guy's a hilarious comedian, man.
No, he's fucking terrible.
Is he Canadian?
He's alright.
Is he Canadian?
No, he's English.
Oh, that's why. You gotta respect your colonial masters.
Wait,
right
motherfucker. So you're like, if he's, you're gonna do that anyway. You're gonna do that no matter what.
Damn.
It's called a catch-22, and it sucks, right?
You fuckface.
Wow.
Dang. Dang.
But yeah, I'm gonna show this one more time. I found a better thing. But yeah, and by the way, I would be too. This girl is fucking beautiful. So it is what it is. I don't blame her.
Yeah, but don't do it visually, man. Do it in your mind like everyone else does.
Why does the background like Wheel of Fortune?
Because like wheel of I don't even know what the fuck. Show it. There we go. Yeah, look at that. He is just he is just.
Motherfucker, the camera's on you.
Nick, I would like to finish the sentence. That ass though.
That ass, delicious. No.
Okay, I think it's like. Come on now, just because the dude licks his lips doesn't mean that necessarily he's.
Allie, no, that was perverted, girl. That was.
Honestly, it's a little bit like.
It's a little weird, but still like. Okay, if he has allegations, who knows? I don't want to defend this dude if he actually did something.
That's true.
So I'm gonna shut my mouth
I don't want to do anything to offend you, Allie, or make you creep you out, but that's something that I would love to test out there. Like, oh, he's just licking his lips. That don't mean anything. Like, just wait till like Allie's days out. She looks at him and she's like,
you know what? Yeah, that's true. Because I had some lip lickers a couple of weeks ago.
Wait, what?
Oh no.
Oh,
Man,
lip.
okay.
Okay.
the way you say that, I picture him like
Let me
fucking
explain.
like,
So here in Charlotte, North Carolina, that's where I live. Every year they have a CIAA tournament, which is like a huge college basketball thing here, and people come from out of town over here to like watch the game, and they have like a bunch of like parties and stuff like that. It's like the most that Charlotte gets lit in 365 days a year, and the crowd, I'll be honest, it's predominantly black. So you got people like from Atlanta, you got people from New York, or up north or whatever. These people are coming all, and it's kind of the crowd that y'all would expect, like the crowd that would be at a hip hop concert, and not the respectful kind. So yeah, you just imagine all those people at my mall, and my boss literally had me like forced to stand in the front to stop people from coming, like extra traffic from coming in, and I just got so many looks, and I got catcalled. It was not a fun time.
Yeah. That's why you pull out a shotgun.
I like how you said extra traffic. We all know what he meant.
No, but yeah, I mean,
No.
I'm glad I'm not a girl because of that shit sometimes, because that shit has to be uncomfortable as fuck. Like, just, I can't imagine like the idea of catcalling of like, basically if you say like, damn girl, whatever the fuck, like it's so equivalent to just, I wanna fuck you. Like, you could just say that and it's just as fucking creepy. Like, just don't, why are you catcalling? It's not gonna work. Jenny.
Yeah. And first of all,
for a split second, I thought Jenny was in the call.
First of all, I just like to say, Ganja, that it wasn't traffic as in like a race thing. We really focus on conversion because we are such a small store. So conversion is like the amount of people that come into the store, and converting them, of course, to buying a product. And when you have a big event like that, and there are people coming in all from out of town, so they might be from like smaller areas where they like don't have a huge mall like that. A lot of people would just come in because they're curious, but they're not really looking to buy, and that really hurts us. And it's more so that the district manager will get on my manager's ass about it. It's not really she has that much of a problem with it, but it's just that if she doesn't want to get yelled at or scolded, then yeah, that's what we have to do, and it sucks.
I like going to one of my theaters. More funner.
It's more funner.
Too bad.
More fun.
I'm gonna defend my manager, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
especially when it's on a stream, Ganja. You dumb shit.
Hey, I don't work there.
I'm not gonna have like my future employers look me up and be like, "Oh, she said this terrible thing." No.
And they are. Thank you for
I
watching
have
Midnight
nothing
Chat
but positive things to say about my current job, and if I quit soon, my ex job.
God, this is a hard fish to catch.
Stop, Ganja.
Gotcha.
Stop, Ganja. Stop.
No, but moving on, you fucking jackasses. This is the thing that I actually thought that maybe Eddie can come on and talk about too, because you're a gamer and everything. But do you like Devil May Cry at all?
I've never played a single game of Devil May Cry.
You
my
son of a
life.
bitch, motherfucker! God damn it!
Man, I played 4. That's the only one I ever played.
Oh my god, you both suck. You played the worst
I
one.
hated 4 so much.
Yeah, no shit. It's fucking terrible. God, you ever play Devil May Cry?
I did, but I'm not gonna lie to you and say I was a fan.
You're alone.
I quit. Let's talk about United.
My problem with Devil May Cry is it always seemed like with the first two that it was kind of just a hash and slash Resident Evil, especially with the menu system and the way it had the convoluted story of like, oh, my brother's a bad guy. Oh wait, my father was a hero demon. It's bullshit like that. It was an anime video game if there was ever a goddamn one. And I just
it was supposed to be a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, that was supposed to be Resident Evil Code Veronica, and they changed it.
Ooh, I love that proves my point better. Because you could totally tell this was a game that was not meant to be what it was. But it was fun, and the hack and slash was decent. And I remember playing Devil May Cry 3 with a friend who was really into the series that had the 2 different discs, where you have, I think the guy is Leo or Vio or some other shit like that, who's Dante's brother, and you'll be play both the sides of their stories and the characters they develop with, and how they finally meet at the end and they kill each other and shit. And I actually like that. The story was somewhat decent. But good point. Happy birthday, Ruthless. But back to the story.
Yes.
It never really caught my attention.
Yeah, and by the way, too, I was actually gonna do that happy birthday thing. I brought up this lame. You want to show you how lame I am really quick, just to kind of like show that I'm not that great at timing. I had this shit popped up ready for Ruthless, and as I was looking at this, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna say happy birthday and everything." This is insulting. It's so lame. Who the fuck would send this to somebody else? That's really bad. Happy birthday, Ruthless, or Matt, whatever you want to call yourself.
This is wow, cringe. Where's Jet?
Hey, Alan, imagine if a chick did that to you next to your wife.
Yeah. Oh shit. Now he died. Yeah. Thanks a lot, people. He actually dropped that for Ruthless. He's like, "This is for my homie." Just drop that shit.
Drop one out
for the homie. Third fucking time.
Yeah, it's all good. Damn, really? Has it been third time tonight?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I haven't even been paying attention.
I have it plugged into my.
It's called Stupid Blue. How do you invest in it?
Yeah, no shit. I'm really curious, like what it looks like on his end. like where's that mic or what's that webcam on? Probably on like the edge of a fucking desk, like it's falling down. But yeah, so man, I like
it's on my TV.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then. It's all good. No wonder he's falling. Get a fucking stand, goddamn. But what was I gonna say though? Oh yeah,
my fucking band sticker covers the thing.
The Devil May Cry thing, man. This whole situation with and it's not Shinji Mikami because the thing is, I actually thought it was him saying, "Oh, I want to redo this again." I'm like, okay, that's not smart. Work on Resident Evil. You guys got something good with the Resident Evil 7 thing, and now. And I think a big part of why he even brought this up or whatever is because apparently Dante from Devil May Cry is going to be in Monster Hunter World, which is some silly shit.
Makes sense.
Wait, you think it makes sense? Why do you think it makes sense? Because I
only in the sense of not because of his powers, but because of the skin. Only in the sense of like he carries a big sword, and that's what Monster Hunter is about. It's about guys with big swords. So it's like I could kind of see it, you know.
Yeah, and the Sharp 110 in the chat over here, which is a guy who frequents our Rings of Hainao a lot, and he's saying that it's Virgil in Devil May Cry 3.
I was nowhere near close.
Yeah, and Raheem Ganja Gay Love, what? What?
Hey, man. Hey, it's like a mob name, you know. You have Big Pussy, you got Little Tony and shit. I'm just Big Ganja Gay Love, bro. What's up?
Yeah, that's some weird shit. But yeah, man, like I love this stuff. You know, this little. Because they do little things here where it's like, you know how they used to have combos back in the Devil May Cry days, like stylish and perfect and totally too cool.
Demonic.
Yeah, demonic.
Totally tubular, dude.
Yeah. And they do this here with a capture and hunt and drink and eat and barrel bomb and all that stuff, which I think is kind of funny. You know, I mean, it's a cool trailer, but I feel like that guy, I forgot what's his name again, Hideki Kuchiku. Where the fuck he sounds like a. I don't know what the fuck these dudes' names are.
Fuck?
They sound randomly generated.
Isn't that a song?
Yeah, dookie dookie doo. Yeah, I'm actually look this dude's name up really quick.
I love how when you don't know something, you make baby noises.
I know. No, his name is Hideki Kamiya.
Are you still making baby noises?
No, Hideki Kamiya. That sounds like a Japanese name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I pronounced it right too. I'm with it. I'm with the Japanese people, man.
That just sounds like something you would say to Tyler and try to get him to go to sleep or calm down on an airplane.
To be honest, dude, like Hideki Kamiya sounds like a fucking monster in Monster Hunter World. Like I'm just saying. They even have a thing called Titsu. Like what the fuck does that mean?
Your addiction to Monster Hunter knows no bounds, like my love for marijuana.
I'm sorry, that game is so fucking good, people, and I cannot wait till we do another like fucking online YouTube show when we're doing Monster Hunter because girl, I love it so much. But yeah, like this whole thing, that was a weird voice I made. But
full retard.
A little bit. Full mentally challenged.
But oh yeah, I forgot 10 years later.
Yeah, exactly right. But no, man, like Devil May Cry, I think that'll be a cool thing for them to redo this. But it's like they kind of did this with DMC, and I know Alan really hated that fucking game a lot. I mean, or am I wrong for that? Maybe it was you or Trey.
The newest one, DMC Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Trey hated it just because of his reasons. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I was like open to it. I'm like, oh hey, it's it's a different Dante, different universe, all sorts of cool stuff. That gameplay is so boring. So it's like,
yeah,
that's the thing. It's like I can get past a lot of stuff, but when I'm not having fun playing your game, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a game. It should be fun. It's like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, the story isn't that good to fucking hold up. Just horrible gameplay. And I don't think the gameplay was horrible. It's just this game does something where it makes you it makes you too powerful. It's like, hey, isn't it cool that Dante is so fucking awesome? He's whooping everybody's ass. So just do that. And it's like, well, I want a challenge. The thing that was cool back in the day is that he tried to earn your love for the character, and he had to go through some shit, you know. And
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's just a lot of the stuff wasn't like. I think there's just been much better games that have done the same kind of idea. Bayonetta does it really good. You know, the Nier just came out, but Nier does it really, really well. The same kind of gameplay style, but a lot more going on. I just think DMC was just a pale kind of imitation of the series, and it's like, I just like, you know, Jay's, you know, freaking in the chat, and he wants DMC 5. It's like, I just want a good game. Like, it doesn't really matter what you call it. Just make it fun.
That's what it comes down to, you know. I mean, I guess we got that with Monster Hunter World. I mean, I don't know if you like it that much like everybody else does, but hey, you know.
Fuck that. I want a new DNC game, man. Give me that Dino Crisis.
By the way, you're only mad right now because you don't have a PS4 and can't play fucking Monster Hunter World with everybody else that's normal.
Hey, fuck you. I got a game PC that will generate whole worlds within it, but no games that could do it.
There we go. Exactly. But moving on to the thing that I was kind of dreading talking about. United Airlines flight attendant responsible for death of dog.
Who let the dogs out?
Nobody.
I'm gonna let Allie take this really quick. Well, before we even go into that too, but I want Allie to talk first because this is something that I can just tell earlier when we were talking about. She was getting fucking upset, and so was I. Because for one, someone needs to do something about United because they're fucking up constantly. And it seems like no one gives a fuck, and I don't know why. So basically, these two people, and I don't have a whole lot of stills to show because there's like a dead dog thing. I don't know why they show it in the news. That's another thing too. They don't take shit seriously, and I hate this like weird comparison with like human lives and fucking animal lives. Like they're not the same. Like there is a difference. I get it, you know, to an extent. But they showed the dead dog's body in the fucking video, and that's why I'm just gonna leave it on. Yeah, like not even censored.
That's why I kind of didn't look into it because I don't want to fucking see that.
So the question is, are you gonna show the video?
Well, no, I'm not gonna show that part because I'm not. I actually fucking am normal, unlike the fucking.
He has a conscience.
I kind of want to see the dead doggy.
No.
Because I don't know, like, because the thing with seeing what the body looks like, I don't know how the dog died. Because if it's one of those like small breeds, like a pug and shit, their sinus cavity is not really developed all the way. So he could have just died of asphyxiation up there. But if he looks broken and shit, those. Definitely the airlines are responsible because that means the luggage was kicking his ass the whole time.
No, and he wasn't broken or whatever. He looked like he was asleep, but his face is like dead, you know. And
so he suffocated then.
Yeah. How's that funny, man? Like it's just like
All right, I'm laughing because you said his face was dead, so I picture like the most cartoonish. Like, oh.
Anyway. All right, man. Like I'm laughing at your face, but like that's not funny shit, man. Like
hey, I told you what packed in my mind. You asked what was funny. Don't get mad at me. I told you shit.
No, but like the thing that's fucked up is hearing the story too, because apparently the flight attendant basically told them like, yeah, you guys didn't tell me it was a dog. Meanwhile, the reason why they even knew the dog was there is because the dog was barking. The dog was literally barking on their lap, and the attendant came over and said, let me put this up on the fucking and what do you call that, Allie, by the way? That overhead thing?
The overhead compartment?
Oh, well, holy shit, I guess I almost got it. But the thing is like, and tell me if I'm wrong for this, but attendant should not be the only one to blame. Who the fuck is this dumbass mom, the stupid fucking bitch right here that said it's okay to put the dog in the fucking overhead compartment? It's her fucking dog.
Yeah, and they're also told by essentially almost like, I don't know if they're considered federal employees, but someone up there saying, yo, you gotta fucking do that. Like, there's situations where it's like, this is United. Even if this is any other airline, though they can get strict and they can get harassable. And it's like, yeah, I get that you want to blame the victim in this situation, but this is a situation where someone was forced to do something against their will. Like,
not really. No one's holding a gun to their head.
It's United. I wouldn't be surprised if they did hold a gun.
No, man. That honestly, it's very irregular for them to ask to put an animal in a overhead compartment on the plane. Of course, you hear about animals being, you know, in the the cabin underneath. Yeah. But they make sure, but that part underneath is ventilated. You can still breathe under there. So that's why it's more safe for animals. Although, there have been circumstances. I remember that United had killed another animal earlier.
Christ, man.
Wait, same airline?
Some flights don't even allow you.
Airline. It was United, and there was like a rare breed of something, and they had killed the animal. When it was in the cabin with all the other luggage.
And to go on to that point, Allie, like to add on to that real quick, like they don't even allow them to do that anymore. Like you have to buy a plane ticket depending on the dog's size now.
Yeah. But either way, it's just very irregular for them to ask someone to put, like, if it's a cat or if it's a dog or whatever, if you're bringing them on the plane, they don't usually, like, it's unusual for them to ask you to do that. So that person had every right to say, no, I'm not doing that, because, like, how come I've seen everyone else, like, do it before and it hasn't been a problem. Like, literally, I remember when I was flying to Vegas, and I remember this very clearly because I was sick the rest of the time because I'm pretty allergic to cats, and I was sneezing and just, like, I was just getting more sick and sick as I was flying to Vegas. There was a lady behind me who had her cat in a bag and was in the seat next to her the whole entire trip. So I remember that very clearly because I got super sick. But still, that lady was able to have her cat next to her on the plane, not in the overhead compartment. Same thing for dogs. I've seen multiple people bring dogs on the plane, not service dogs, but dogs that are small enough to be in a bag or whatever. They've been able to carry them on the plane and have them sit in their lap or to be next to them on the seat. So this is just, I'm sorry, but I'm blaming both the owner and the stewardess, because the stewardess, I think she just didn't know what the heck she was doing, because pretty sure that's against policy to put a live breathing animal on an overhead compartment, especially because it's not ventilated. Second of all, this woman is smart. She's smart. You can't argue, oh, well, she didn't know English because apparently they're Hispanic and the daughter was mainly the one to talk in English. But still, the daughter can translate for her. So she's not stupid. So she shouldn't have let that stewardess, if she bullied her or whatever, she shouldn't have let her take her dog and put it up there. Like, I would have fought. I would be like, no, you're not. Would it be
a lot more trouble though? Like,
hey, Jenny, come back. You got turbulence with your internet connection. Come back.
No, but
and Ella was saying that you get more in trouble. It's like, dude, would someone ask someone to put their baby in an overhead compartment? No, I know it's not exactly the same thing, but still, breathing like organism.
They don't.
And people are able to hold their child on their lap. So it's like you can't even argue. It's like, oh, well, then maybe they're not allowed to have them on their lap, but how come someone can still hold like their child, or even a kid that is old enough technically to walk can still be on someone's lap on the plane. Yeah. So that's a bullshit excuse that they couldn't just have that dog sit on their lap while, like, not, of course, like out and about, but like in the bag, be on their lap.
And that's why 100% blame the fucking airlines, because they know better. Yeah. This situation with the person working there didn't know what the fuck they're doing, and for the most part, probably just was this family just didn't want to deal with any problems. So they're just like, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Not comply and risk getting kicked off of our flight, risk missing our flight, or just risk having a lot of more problems happen, cause a scene? So it's like, I 100% blame the people.
Because ultimately they would have been in the right. So either way, they would have been compensated.
Maybe.
I know people want to get home or whatever, but like, that stewardess didn't know what she was doing. She didn't know what she was ordering that person to do. So she would have gotten in trouble. The airline would have, I know, United, they have some crappy customer service, I know, but they would have done something to compensate them and to get them on a flight that they can actually, travel with their dog on their lap or whatever in a more safe environment back to wherever. So yeah, I don't care if I would have caused a scene. Like, I think most people would have agreed as well on that flight. Like, yeah, I'm not putting my dog up in an overhead compartment, which I would have been afraid that another like bag, if some turbulence happened, a bag would have fallen on my dog and would have killed him that way.
Yeah, but again, it's a person of authority telling you what to do on a plane. Like, that's a no joking matter. So it's like you cause a problem and cause even more problems and get stuff delayed. And the only situation we get in trouble. How many times do we ever see people get complained and the customer gets complained? Like, there's a situation where they're probably in a situation where they're just afraid. They're like, we don't know what to fucking do. What are we supposed to do? Sit there and argue that? Like,
but not only that, like, the mom is already someone who doesn't speak English, and she's dependent on the daughter to translate throughout the whole flight. So that's even more of a scary factor for someone that's not dealing with, constant English or instructions from people who can easily call the cops and have your ass dragged off the plane. You can be barred from flying for life. And there's a lot of people that deal with that stuff when it comes to authority figures, that they kind of break down and just do what they say and comply because they think they're in the right. And it's kind of up to the authority figures to always be brushed up on what the new protocol is. And I think what it was just a bad stewardess, and that's why I'm with Alan. I blame it 100% on the dog. And I know you're saying like it's a living creature, a living organism and stuff, but when it comes to corporations, governments, and just things like that are conglomerates, they don't care. As long as it's not a human life, like a baby or something like that, they can easily get away with giving you a $10,000 settlement for a dog rather than $100,000 or fucking going bankrupt for a child.
And here's the thing, like I'm gonna agree with you guys on that because we can't keep arguing the whole time. But the one thing I will say is like, okay, plead ignorance. She was ignorant to it. She didn't know. That's why she said okay when Dara was like, put the dog up there so it could die. It's like, okay, perfect. The whole fucking thing. But like, you know, it comes down to laziness. Some people just think like, hey, I'm gonna go somewhere and any issue or any kind of like ignorance or me not fucking doing my job as a fucking generally okay human being can't just use the internet. I bet this girl looks like she's on her phone all the fucking time. You know, especially looking, and she's a pretty girl. I'm pretty sure she's gone some places in life that she has a mobile device in her fucking hand or a computer or something or a phone to call and ask them, hey, so I have this third fucking living thing with me. Like, what should I do? Look it up. Google would probably answer that shit in a heartbeat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but in times like that, you don't have the chance to actually look up stuff like that. And then when it comes to like
board groups for fucking 2 hours,
but even if like she knew that prior, like it was Allie, like this exactly was Allie in that situation. Like you're still dealing with this young girl who basically essentially is trying her best to argue with the airlines. The airline's always going to side with the stewardess. It's always going to side with the employees. There's very little that they're going to side with the actual thing. So she's in there. It's like, I'm going to get kicked off. My mother's probably terrified right now. What kind of situation do you have to be in? It's like, well, this person's of authority. I guess I have to listen to it. I have no points. Like, imagine this situation where she got pulled over by a police officer. It's like, arguing is not going to...
No, I know that. I'm not saying argue in that situation. But that's not even an argument that we're having now. It's not even about that. It's about before she even gets to the airport. And you guys are saying, like, maybe she didn't have enough time, whatever the fuck. It's like, I'm sorry, but there's times where you can just sit in a board group. You know, like, when you board, you wait for 2 hours. Everyone finds a seat, whatever the fuck, or they go lay down or something by a fucking charger phone thingy, a charging station, and everyone just chills. And, you know, then when you get up, there's board groups, too. Which is weird to me because it's not just a stewardess. How the fuck did they pass through that counter right before you go into board? Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Like, usually, because, man, those employees are quick to get on someone about carrying a big bag. Yeah. Trying to carry a bag onto the plane. Like, ma'am, sir, can you please fit that bag into that little thing they have there? So, you know, to see if it'll fit. And it doesn't. Oh, you're going to have to check that. Like, okay, so where was that person that's always on top of it about bags? Where were they when they saw this bulldog being escorted into the freaking flight? Like, you know, that someone else should have caught it before they even boarded the flight. So if they were able to get through that, then they should have been able to just like put the bag like you know, by their feet. That's usually what people do. Yeah. And it's underneath the seat. Still following regulations, and everything would have been fine. I don't understand why that woman couldn't just do that. Like,
yeah, well, that's the thing. She probably did get through. Like, it's one of those things where the stewardess probably just didn't know what she was doing because, like, usually there's a bunch of people out there waiting. She probably got through no problem. She literally probably got through without a single hitch. And then it's like, wait, I just got through like 18 levels of security. Now I'm having a problem. What the hell's going on? So it's like, it probably was a situation where right in the moment where it's like, what do you mean? I got through all of the proper stuff. I did all the research. I did every single thing. Now you're telling me, it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Well, I'm already here. I can't go through all this other shit. So it's like, again, that's why I blame the airline because there's two different voices coming right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's true. One thing I will say, though, people, is, like, when it comes to shit like this, do your fucking research. I am so sick of people using ignorance as a fucking excuse nowadays, because there's no excuse. In this world of technology and where we are, you know what I do when I went to fucking Chicago last fucking month? I asked them, once again, I already knew. I went to fucking online. I know the dimensions. I have measuring tape. I did everything, and I still ask questions. Can I bring this? How much does this cost? Because sometimes when you do something through Expedia or TripAdvisor or through the actual site or Delta, whatever the fuck, rules do vary. Do your fucking research. It takes 20 minutes at most. Right. Why the fuck can't you, not even to look online? Like, I looked this shit up. You can't take animals like that size into a plane. I found that out in 1 minute.
Well, that's the thing. You can't take animals that size. And the thing is, with different airlines have different rules and regulations. Like, for example, I'm flying now. My license expires, and I'm waiting off for my new one. And I flew recently with it. And for example, in Texas, Tennessee, Phoenix, that wouldn't be accepted. I need an actual valid state ID. Yeah. But in Florida and Colorado, it's valid. So different airlines have different rules. For example, in Austin, I don't take my shoes off. In Denver, I take my shoes out my belt and my hat. And that's the thing, like every airlines have different rules. And when you're someone that doesn't understand the language and you're getting told all different things, it's always the safer option to go with someone that you know is an authority figure and comply. And that situation of, hey, put the dog in there and you got like 5 seconds to respond like a video game. You don't have time to be like, hey, let me phone a friend.
A quick time event.
Yeah,
like, and I get what you mean.
Oh, fuck, that dog!
That's the thing, Nick. I 100% agree.
It's like a Fallout dialogue thing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, I agree.
Fuck
do your
you,
research.
no.
100% do your research, all that jazz. But it's like, they got through that many levels of security. They already did the research. They already kind of knew it, and someone else is telling them something else right in the heat of the moment. So it's like, yeah, I get some people being ignorant, but like, if
I got told that shit too when I went to go get my license renewed, and I said, "Oh, if I do all this and this, I'll be fine." They were like, "Yeah, but it's always up to TSA's discretion."
Yo,
surprised they didn't bring a crate with them.
Yeah. Yeah, you can bring a lot of shit. You can even bring one of those big bags, and as long as it fits on the top thing.
Well, the dog was a pug, and that's a reasonable sized dog to just put it between your legs and just have him on the ride.
Yeah.
So I honestly think it was the stewardess that didn't know better. But to defend our case against United a little more, I don't know if you saw the story. I didn't give it to you, Nick. It's just a quick mention because I don't know if it's fake or not. But apparently they had a dog that was scheduled to go to like Jersey or Pennsylvania or some shit, and that motherfucker made it all the way to Tokyo.
Wow.
Yo, I'm reading on the fucking news story that he posted in the doc. Like, apparently, like, United is the highest level of like deaths for animals.
Yeah.
Like, all the airports, United.
Yeah, United. Get on your shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, the peacock thing that just happened, like that whole situation.
They did the peacock wrong. The dog will remember that.
Wait, what happened with the peacock?
No, something happened.
That peacock escaped death.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think the peacock lived obviously, but like, yeah, it was helping this dude. That was his what do you call that when like you can't see or some shit, or support animal or something.
Yeah.
Support, yeah.
Yeah, and this dude brought up, and they're like, no,
emotional support animal.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's just telling a bird like, I'm fucking nervous, man.
Yo, they didn't know a support animal, man. What the hell?
And then the peacock was like, no, it's okay, dude. I fly all the time. It's all good. But yeah.
I want to talk shit about people real quick about doing that shit because I'm glad you brought up the peacock story. If you're the type of person that actually like brings your dog to places and use the excuse that it's a service animal and whatnot, you're kind of a dick.
Well, okay, if it's like something for like mental health, I can get what you're saying, but motherfuckers are blind and shit, man.
No, I've seen shit like helper dog stuff and like shelter dog and stuff that you can put around them that allows them to be in certain places.
Yeah.
And some people are buying that online and whatnot and using that for their dogs. If you do that, you're a dick.
Yeah. I agree to an extent, but at the same time, like, there's times where people have to like take their dogs out. They're moving somewhere where the fuck, and it's like, now it's like, do you want to do that, or is your dog about to fucking die? Do you just take it to its death? Like, you know what I mean? Who the fuck knows? It's ridiculous. Yeah. And I think a great way to solve
it was a really good movie though.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Anyway. You're saying?
No, but all I was gonna say is just like, yeah, just people do your fucking research. Don't do stupid shit that's gonna hurt other fucking animals and shit. You know.
But also be open to a lot of change, because like I just remembered something right now. When I was coming back from New York, they took my bag and said I had to pick it up in Toronto. That was new to me. This is the I guess third time I've been on a plane. That was new to me, which means that was something they threw on me randomly. So it's like that stuff does
board groups were new to me just last month. I didn't do that for any. And keep in mind too that this is a smaller airport thing too, so they probably don't got the shit together. This is LaGuardia, and I passed through LaGuardia in November. That shit was still being worked on in the front. That shit was like basically like a post-apocalyptic area.
Alex, tell us about LaGuardia Airport.
Okay, so LaGuardia.
LaGuardia.
I actually can't say it any other way. Like I'm stuck in a New York accent with that name. But no. You know what's the funniest thing is that I was going back home. I was in New York, visiting my family, and so I had scheduled to fly out from LaGuardia back to Charlotte, and I got through fine, through taxi or whatever. Literally the next day, my uncle and aunt is like messaging me like, "Yo, you were so lucky you got out of that airport." Literally, there was a traffic jam for miles trying to get into LaGuardia, and people were literally like getting out of the cars in the middle of the highway to run to get into the airport because like the construction was absolutely horrendous. Like they've been working on like reconstructing because they just got the city gave like a I think millions of dollars to go towards like, you know, making the airport a lot better. It's basically like they're building the airport from scratch. So like you can't even tell there's an airport back there. It's all just construction. You would just think it's just a construction zone that just happened to have some planes in the back. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, no, it looks like one of those places like when you're playing Sims Build It, and it's like in the middle of one of its fucking things there. I mean, and granted, it's not the best quality picture.
That's exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's how it looks. You know, in New York City, in Queens, like it's crazy. It doesn't look like a freaking airport anymore. And every time that someone's like, you know, saying, oh, I'm going to New York, I'm like, do not go into LaGuardia. You want to go into JFK? Because seriously, if you can, or if you want to go into Newark until everything's done. They've been working on this for like 2 years now, and they're still not really completed yet. So, yeah.
By the way, too, just so you guys know, coming in through here, I'm going to put my mouse over here. This spot right here will be covered in taxis and Lyfts and Ubers going into. So that's another issue, too, man. Like, there is no semblance of normalcy in that fucking airport. Like, that shit's ridiculous. Meanwhile, JFK just come in, drop me off, leave. No problem.
JFK got dogs I'm not friends with.
Yeah, that's true. Fucking JFK.
Except for the ones in Manhattan. They were good boys. I was about to pet them.
I will say, JFK, though, be careful with your bags, because motherfuckers literally chill by the goddamn baggage claim and will take off with your shit. I had to deal with that a little bit. Almost had to deal with it, so. Cool shit.
I love Nick. He got the first real New York experience. Someone trying to steal his bag.
And then I turn around and it's a payphone. I'm like, this place is ghetto as fuck. I hate New York, and it's been 1 minute, and I fucking hate New York.
These fucking cheese crack pizzas that I've never eaten.
Now. Payphone, it's like, okay, you accidentally lose your phone. At least there's like some sort of
Nah, they stuck in 1992, Allie. That's some bullshit. Fucking
well, that's why they're doing a lot of construction.
Oh, bullshit. I hate it.
And renovation.
And then the goddamn pizza. No, I'm just playing.
No, it was funny, too, because we heard a story that because, like, New York was having terrible weather, actually JFK got flooded.
Damn.
Yeah, so both airports are not doing so hot. Just stick to Newark.
Yeah, I guess so. And Kirk said, fuck Newark, so I don't know. Basically, fuck New York in general, people.
Newark is a lot better. Like, it's much more smoother getting into, you know, close to New York through Newark, which is actually New Jersey. But it's about the same distance from, like, JFK to the city as it is to Newark. This is not as bad as you think it is. But, yeah, man, I had a very smooth experience flying into Newark.
Yeah.
So I can't say, you know.
But we're moving on, though. We're moving on into Alan has to change his clothes time.
Oh,
it's flex and
snap.
chill. Oh my
God.
Hurry
up.
Yes.
Take that shirt off.
Snap.
Yeah, take it off. Oh, God. What the fuck happened?
Doing it off camera like a little bitch.
Yeah, I
know. I'm sorry, Dijon. I guess we might as well
show them
inform
nipples.
You guys now. The Midnight Chat Attack crew would now be going to Chicago due to change of plans and bad timing when it comes to that shit.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell you my own personal reason. They don't got the goddamn shit together. I'm sorry, but you can't fucking put a poll up that says, you guys want to come in May or you want to come in July? And then pick fucking June. Like, no. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck. I ain't going. God damn it. Get your shit together, man. Damn. But
we'll see y'all in Austin.
For
damn
sure,
right
Austin.
you will.
Austin's going to be fucking lit. And it's going to be awesome. I can't
You
wait.
know the motherfucker don't throw a party. We're going to run up on his spot.
And I'm pretty sure Austin Peace is good, despite the awfulness of
Oh my God.
Oh, and here's the best thing about Austin. None of those fucking trains. Oh, God, none of those fucking trains.
Yeah, it's just bad traffic.
Yeah.
Listen, that's okay.
No getting lost in the
going
subway.
on a train with no traffic.
I just want another moment. Like, maybe we try to get on a bus and Alan fucking misses the bus. Like, no! You know?
Oh, God. Oh, fuck, man. Oh, shit.
Me and Eddie went through some shit. Well, Eddie went through some shit. Had to deal with me bitching the whole entire way back to the hotel. We were fucking lost.
I was having a great fucking time.
No, it was awesome. But I think
you're the one that was like...
I know. I'm always bitching.
Alan's just fucked up because he left everybody now.
Exactly. But yeah, so basically, though, people, we'll go and get into Flex and Chill. And here's the thing, Mr. Ganjakuru, you did watch something recently. What was that something, sir?
The young Karl Marx, motherfuckers.
I know, I fucked that up. But young Karl Marx, now, is this like a autobiography? Because I know you like this shit.
It's pretty much it's the same vein of Darkest Hour, where it takes place around, I think it's the height of the Industrial Revolution, when Karl Marx is starting to write the manifesto and working with Engels. And it touches on all that, like his early life inside of Brussels, then Paris, and then London, as he goes around like trying to discover a way to make a I guess it would say an understandable thing for the working class to get an ideology behind to actually start to change the government. It pretty much it is. Like the end scene is literally them going, "We are now calling ourselves the Communist League," and the banners come out and shit. And then like the last minute is like, we need to focus on getting the movement together and getting people more involved and educating them on it. And I like it in a sense, but I think Allie could agree with me because she watched it. Her and Jet watched it with me by giving me a pity movie watch, and she can agree with this. Like the movie is kind of slow in a lot of parts, especially towards the end after the announcement of the party. And I feel like the low parts kind of, if you're not really big into the history of the Communist Party or into like the idea of working class or just history in general, you are probably going to fall out a little bit because it's very, I guess it's like dry acted. Like, what was your experience when you actually checked it out, Allie?
You take it from here, Ganja.
Oh, you forgot it.
I forgot everything. Sorry. Okay. I'll say this. I'm sorry, but this movie kind of bored me. The guy himself, very interesting. So, if anything, I'd rather go read a history book about him. This movie just didn't I didn't find it captured really like a really unique, not I guess an interesting way of telling the story that would really like keep me interested. So. That's more on the filmmaker's fault, more so than the actual, story. So,
because judging by this, the way it's shot is actually pretty fucking bad. This is very straightforward. This is stuff that's like, I mean, granted, like certain things move, etc. And it's like when this whole thing's like in subtitles and it's pretty much nothing happening, I can tell there's really no actual action, maybe except for a little bit of sex. But like looking at this, man, why is it so dim? I mean, is the movie this discolored or is it just the
trailer? Kind of muted.
The lighting, man.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I had a complaint with. It was doing the whole Darkest Hour, like very dark rooms and just kind of like trying to do the natural lighting look, how you would be in these buildings without like electric power or a way to get like real good candlelight in there so you can only see like maybe a few shadows and whatnot. But I think that just kind of, well, a lot of the dialogue was very into itself. Like it was almost if I wrote the fucking script and knew all the fucking technical terms. Hey, Nick, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I tell you this? Hegelian dialectics.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't know, diabetic medicine?
Exactly. Like, they say that 15 to 20 times without ever trying to explain it. So like, a newcomer like Allie who's trying to watch this movie and, like, catch on with the terminology and what's going on, they never take a moment to actually get a chance to actually explain it to the audience of what this means, what is this, what are they doing? And, like, I felt like a lot of the times, like, I felt like I was explaining what was going on when the movie should have done it itself. Especially when, like, after films like Darkest Hour comes out, and it was kind of made in the same vein of that, as you can see, like, the way they show the dark lights and whatnot, and how the actors are driven to one scene or another. But it didn't have the whole entertainment value or the action or the real sense of something looming over the audience that kept the Darkest Hour going. Because with Darkest Hour, you had Dunkirk happen, you had the political intrigue of all the politicians and campaign stuff that was going on with Winston Churchill, whereas this, they touch on a little bit, but most of it is just the relationship of him and Jenny, him, Engels, and his wife, and how they become friends and how they come together. So it's very much a insulated story about how these guys come together and become friends and actually work up the ideology that eventually becomes, the Communist Manifesto and, the other works they develop for, the Communist Party. And I think a lot of it is spent mostly on the academic side, which I think is what the movie fails on, because I thought they were going to touch more on, like, the scene you show here are the workers sabotaging the factory because someone broke their finger and they got fired because of it, and she didn't get no release pay, no medical, and they're just being like mistreated. But that's like one or two scenes are like that, and the rest of the movie is just basically focused on dialogue and just famous things throughout his life. And if you're not a history fan of like history and know a lot of the stuff, or hell, a communist, you're not going to know a lot of this shit. And I think that's where the movie kind of fails a little bit to a certain degree. Me personally, as someone who likes the ideology and likes the whole aspect of Marx and loves the history around it, I think it's a great film, and I'm going to give it, straight up buy it. But if you're someone who's like maybe a dabbler in history and doesn't really know too much about the party, knows too much about Marx or Engels, I think you should probably rent it, or at the least just probably avoid it, because honestly, I think it's too much wrapped up into its own ideology and too much in its own language to actually appeal to a general audience. But maybe in the future we'll get better movies, because I want to see them trying to continue the story in better ways and try to spread more about the ideology. Like, I'd love to see them try to do a Lenin movie and try to actually capture all that, because that movie would have action with the Civil War and him being chased out of the country several times. And I think that would be a lot more I guess more interesting than just the whole build up that you have here without a payoff. Because it feels like you're building up to this great moment and you get it with the Communist Party, and the movie just drops off out of that. You feel like, why did I watch that?
Yeah. And here's the thing: we would actually have more movies, and I'm actually really surprised that you did get this seemingly a low rating. As I feel like, I mean, granted, we're not into it as much as you do.
Well,
so.
I always tell people, like, this is one thing I've always told people, especially Julian, just because you're doing historical figures or about social aspects that we all enjoy and support, doesn't mean you can fucking half-ass this and do it like not entertainment. Like, it's a movie, entertain me, and it's a better way to spread the ideology, not see how fucking smart you can be.
Yeah, and we will be doing more reviews, by the way, too. But people, I'm going to just show you something really, really quick here, so y'all know. I mean, you guys probably already know what to do right here. There it is, webpage, and boom, Double Toast is actually on. And this probably will be this for sure. It's going to be Patrick Gertz's last show on Double Toasted, and then well, it's last review show, and then he's going to be back for the high score. But yeah, people, they're about to end off, so I'm actually about to start, so we're going to end off for them. And with that said, Mr. Ganja Guru, we lost our boy Alan. He's dead. He gone.
Oh yeah,
he rage quitted.
Yeah, he rage quitted. Oh, that's unfortunate.
The trend continues. Make sure, guys, to get your gift baskets at the Alley gift store. Make sure to go get your last funnel cake. And the exit is actually the Birdman exit cave. You see the fucking statue running away in anger. That is the Birdman exit. And have a great day at MCA Land!
Oh my God, it's not gonna work. Why are you trying to get investors through this shit? Ain't nobody got no goddamn money. But the thing is, they do.
Be the Walt Disney of podcasting, bro. Call up John Tron. I know those racists got money.
But you know what though? The Double Toast community and the Midnight Chat Attack community do not have. Oh, look at his man.
Oh man, he has the cutest fucking dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss him.
I'm sorry, Allie, but Harley ain't shit Teddy's dog.
Excuse you.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Oh, your dog is so cute, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss it when you take it to the United airline flight. But yeah,
fuck that.
But the thing is, though, folks, Midnight Chat Attack community and DT community might not have a lot of money, but you know what they do have, Mr. Ganja Guru?
What
they have great opinions, great compliments, great complaints, great everything.
Bitches.
They're not bitches, no, they're great people. And these great people can check you out, Mr. Ganja Guru, when they actually join you for the Facebook gaming shows. Why don't you tell them what you're going to be doing this week and then tell them what to do when it comes to this Facebook page.
Well, guys, for the Untitled Video Game Show on the Facebook page at 7:30 CST time on Friday, or 2 days from now, we're going to be playing Diddy Kong Racing, some old school games that you guys probably remember from those old toddler days. And if you're a little bit older like Nick, those preteen days before that dick started working improperly. So make sure to come. You know, right? So, guys, come by, check out the Untitled Video Game Show. We'll have a great time. Like usual, if the show starts a little bit late, that's because the computer was giving me a hard time. XSplit was just flicking me off throughout the whole process. So, I will let you guys know if something does happen. Besides that, make sure to check out our Milo page. We have great action there. You can post up conversation, quizzes, questions you guys want asked for all of us. And hell, if you check out that fucking chat room, that's banging every time. We'll check you guys out like between the work hours and not. If you want to hang out with us a little more, check out the Milo page. And I think that's it, Nick D.
That is all that it is. So people, go ahead, check out Double Toasted right now, and then I guess we're back to normal as far as doing the live stuff. So we'll see you Saturday night, 7:30 CST on the Midnight Chat Attack, and also tomorrow night, Stone Cold Steve Austin, or not tomorrow night, but Friday, Stone Cold Steve Austin Appreciation Night, 3/16 day. You sorry son of a bitch. Ganja, you want to come on and talk about wrestling?
Wow, he's that damn. He lived that long.
No, not 316 years old. It's 3/16 day, because
no, that's what I'm saying. Like that he can actually see the fucking the actual holiday go 3/16/16. Like damn,
yeah.
I was like damn, that's like 2 years ago. I wish I was there for that. That was probably a big celebration.
Yeah, people. So yeah, definitely. We did this last year for just like a little segment on our SmackDown show, but we're dedicating an entire show to Stone Cold Steve Austin, my favorite wrestler of all time.
I'm coming.
If you're coming, I'm gonna be coming too.
Because here's the secret though. You may know Stone Cold Steve Austin as American Badass, the whole 9 yards and all that shit. I know that was, but he was also one of those motherfuckers with the American flag and all that. But that's besides the point. He had a great fucking heel run with one of my favorite wrestlers, The Rock. So I really hope to bring that conversation on when I come.
Oh, yes, man. So it'll be cool as shit, man. Stone Cold Steve Austin Day. I cannot fucking wait. And I hope you guys are there, too, to bring up your favorite Stone Cold moments and things like that. We're actually doing a top 16 best Stone Cold moments. So it's going to be fucking long, just like Stone Cold. That sounds weird. People, on 1 and on 2, sorry, 3, attack the cat.